Really? 'Cause it shows on.
Yeah, I see that
I
it's
got to.
live now. But yeah, like you had to do like the millennial pause and like it kind of just started in the middle of a sentence. Anywho, we are for real live because it is 15 seconds according to what we see now, 20
Mm-hmm.
seconds. And with that said, good evening, good afternoon, good night. We are the Melanated Council, as you can see at the bottom here, all highlighted
Whoop,
in
whoop.
big. And we stream,
Yes.
yes. And we stream every other Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yes, it is 10 after, but like that's pretty much on the hour. You know, like nowadays, like what starts on time? Like name one thing. Like you're never upset when a movie doesn't start on time, are you? You know, movies always
Right.
start. Actually, I'm pretty sure I may have said this on the stream before, but I remember I used to go to like Regal Cinemas a lot,
Mm-hmm.
like probably in high school or something. And I learned that it takes exactly 21 minutes for the movie to start. And it still does to this day. Like a lot of movies, like for the previews, it's 21 minutes of previews, and then on the 21st minute, that's when the actual movie starts.
Real. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never, tried to like research this and see if anybody else has noticed this, but I, I don't know. Every time I time it, it's 21 minutes.
Mm.
So I don't know how many previews exactly, but it's usually like 21 minutes. Anywho, that's not important. But what is important, but what is important is our next guest. Um, we have a special guest tonight. Unfortunately,
Whoop, whoop.
our normal third guest can't join us tonight. He is doing bigger and better things in a
Mm-hmm.
bigger and better part of the country. At least, in my opinion. So, without further ado, I'd like to we'd like to introduce our good friend of the stream, Gil.
Oh, I hear you now.
Go.
Hey, you guys hear
Hey.
me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
All right, perfect.
Jesus Christ, it autocorrected to Gale. Sorry. Anyway.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, I just changed it. Shh.
Oh,
So,
I'm actually looking directly at the camera now because of the Elgato prompter. So,
oh yeah.
yeah,
No, nice. Awesome. Awesome. Congrats.
yeah.
Like that's awesome. How
Mm-hmm.
do you like it?
I really like it. It's really cool since it was free, which is always good when things are free.
Oh
And
Yeah.
yeah.
it's because normally when I'm podcasting with y'all,
Mhm.
I have my camera looking at me and then I'll have you guys off to the side. So I'm not really engaged in the conversation. I'm just more like, yeah, I hear you, L. I feel what you said, but then I'm looking at me because I'm more concerned about the viewers. I would hate
Mhm.
for them to be looking like, I'm like, yeah, oh, that's crazy. And they're just looking at the side of my face versus now I'm looking at the lens and I see you and I don't
Oh.
see Ron. But yeah, but I just posted it on my Instagram story. So you could take a look at that. It's pretty neat.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
know
pretty
that
dope.
you. I. I don't know if it was an Instagram story or if it was a picture. But I did see like what you're talking about, and it is like makes things a lot easier, and you definitely feel. I could understand how people could feel a lot more engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I want to do with it is actually like do some streaming, some gaming. Because you ever
Mhm.
look at
Mm.
Twitch streamers, they're playing the video game, but they're
Mm-hmm.
also like talking to you. Yeah, guys, it's so crazy. But imagine where you can just look at the game and then
Mhm.
also talk and engage. It's more like more immersed. And I really love that idea. but
Mm.
it's phenomenal so far. A little buggy, but that's to be expected. But like,
Mhm.
there's been a couple times where as soon as I took it out of the box, it didn't work the way I thought it would. You have to install drivers, obviously, but after installing the drivers, I had to reinstall it once, restart the computer twice, just to get it running.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the first time since I got it where I turned it on and I didn't have to reboot anything. It just worked. I'm like, all right, fantastic.
Oh, nice,
Yeah,
nice.
Mm.
Okay.
yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
What can we say? It's just that melanated council good luck. That
There
luck of
you
yeah,
the
go.
Irish
yeah.
melanated council.
There you go.
So how you guys doing?
We're doing well.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, very excited about this topic. I was talking to Ron right before the stream that I think this is like a really good topic, especially, for the end of the year and getting into the next year.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, agreed. And even then, just to ditto off of what Elle was saying, it's more so, I'm looking at it more so as a reflection piece. And and actually just taking this view, no, taking this year
Yes.
in review and just like capitalizing on the successes, learning from the failures, and pretty much motivating myself to be like, okay, this is where I'm at now. This is where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that where I have to go to get there. What up, Rocky?
Hey.
And knowing what I have to do to get there is like, yeah, we're just going to have to do some stuff that, for the most part, I probably don't want to do. I probably don't like to do. But if it don't kill me, it's gonna make me stronger, and we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have at it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Ron, what were some things this year that like definitely took you out of your comfort zone? Because I know you did a lot this year.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
where to begin? Oh, goodness gracious. Well, I would say if we're gonna go to the beginning of the year, that those first 6 months of being a pastor of a church and
Mm-hmm.
actually pretty much doing the ins and outs, and maybe not necessarily handling the finances per se, but like getting the community involved and reaching out to other community leaders, other pastors, and really just trying to bring some change to the community
Mm-hmm.
and be of service and not necessarily make it all about me, but make it about the kids that were there because that's my passion, especially like the teenage group. Huge passion. And listening to their stories and how they're like, yeah, we want to go fishing and we want to do this, we want to do that. Oh, I bet I got like 3 fishing poles. Why not? Let's not,
Hey.
you
Yeah.
know, let's make it a day. I got a whole tackle box. I got a waiter suit. So it's like I can go out a little bit further. And then I got a sonar that works phenomenally well. So it's like I got a lot of stuff to be able to, I guess, create positive memories when all they are surrounded by is negativity, whether it's
Mhm.
at home, whether it's in the community, whether it's in the churches themselves, whether it's at school, just trying to be that positive light. And even though there were a few members who were like, nah, we don't want to do that because that's not what we want to do. It's like, but it's not up to you. It's
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily doing what you want to do and go with the program. Is more so like, dude, if you don't see the bigger picture, Mike, you're losing sight of why you're here in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And so since me leaving the church I was at, from what I've been told, those doors have not been open since then.
Really?
Really,
Oh my god.
those doors, and this is what, December? Yeah, they have not been open since I left. That was back in what, May, June of this year.
Is the church still there?
It's still there, yes, but because of the fact it's more so of a quote unquote family owned church,
Mm-hmm.
they just have it in the family. Just and even then, from again talking to a lot of the pastors who I'm still very close with, friends with, they're like it's just sitting there collecting dust. Like nobody goes in there, nobody comes out of there. It's just a building, and that's it.
Mm.
Nothing more, nothing less. It's just a building. And even then, I was I got in contact with one of the deacons there who was really rooting for me and actually like, saying, hey, give this guy a chance. He's doing some good. And even though he couldn't come out to like a lot of the events, the ones that he showed up to that mattered the most, he was there.
Mm-hmm.
And talking to other community people, like, hey, he's trying to do something new that hasn't been done in a long time. I believe he can do it.
Right.
Let's rally around him and let's support him. And so, with him and his memory declining, and I got in contact with him and we talked. He was like, I know who you are. He said, but the thing is, I don't remember you. He was like, I don't remember your name. I know who you are. It's just if you were to ask me what your name was, I don't remember. I'm like, dude, that's okay because I remember you. Like, I know exactly who you are. And I know the good that you've done. And I know your family and everything else. So even if you don't remember me, that's water under the bridge. I really don't care about all of that. It's just more so seeing you on this side of the dirt and
Mm-hmm.
being able to have that conversation with you because I don't know when the next time I will have that conversation with you. And he kind of looked at me. He was like, you know, that actually touched me and made me feel some type of way. Because like, I appreciate that. Like, I just appreciate just seeing you here. Like, irregardless of what happens, I just appreciate you seeing you here because of the fact I know the support and the love that you have. So that was that. But I'm also kind of like equally glad that I'm not like quote unquote pastor anymore, which is funny. It's a funny thing to say that. And because I say I'm equally glad because now I'm kind of like free to do a little bit more as far as what I would want to do, what I like to do. And it's really, like I said, cater to the teens. And
Mm-hmm.
so with these last 6 months, so from December up until July, pretty much been revamping the teen ministry at the church that I'm currently at, and that's blooming like no other. You
Okay.
know, they're talking about having a Christmas party. I'm like, cool, let's do it. Last month, yeah, last month we had a game night where they all came to our house and we just had finger food and we played games and we talked, we laughed, we joked. I mean, we did a whole Cupid shuffle in the kitchen. My kitchen's not all that huge, but we had all the teams, me and the missus in there doing the Cupid shuffle. And they were like, you know what, we should do this again. I'm like, I'm all for it. Talking about we should do a sleepover. And even then, they were like, you know what? We want to meet like other churches and meet other teams. I'm like, you have no idea. I know a lot of pastors who have a bunch of teams that want to meet other teams.
Mm-hmm.
And only thing it takes for me is a phone call. That's it. A phone call, time and place and date, boom, we're done. We're in there. So it's been a lot, learning a lot, doing a lot. And even then, besides pastoring, I'm in two different book clubs.
Okay. Okay,
And
damn.
I
That's
know.
yeah, no, like that's
Sorry.
like I actually like took out two books from like the library at the same time, and I'm
Hmm.
like, what the heck am I even thinking? And so I don't know.
Yeah.
Kudos to you to be in two different book clubs because like I might be getting into a book club, but like I'm kind of nervous. It's just more so because like I want to be like friends with this person. As
Right.
high school as this may sound, it's like she's
Yeah.
so cool. I want to be friends. And so I'm kind of like, hopefully, whenever she starts it up, but I'm like not looking forward to actually like reading because A, I'm a slow reader,
Hmm.
and I feel like it's gonna be like some serious, intense books, like some serious like Black feminist theory. And it's like, although I'm interested, it's just like, dang,
It's a lot.
just because I want to be friends with this person.
Right. Right. And and it's funny you said that too, because the one book club I'm in, it's by a girl who I am a moderator for on her Twitch channel. And so she was like, "Yeah, I want to do a book club." I'm like, "Cool, bet, let's do it." So the first meeting we did, we kind of went over, and she suggested one book. I'm like, "Okay, cool, great, let's read it." And so she was like, to be honest, I didn't expect it to go off the way how it did. What do you mean? Well, other than the fact, like, it's started off with four people who are consistently showing up and is
Hmm.
branching out to like more people. You know, I didn't expect people to come in who actually likes to read books.
Hmm.
You know, and even then sit around and talk about it. And she was like, I've never been in a book club, and I don't know what I'm getting myself into. And out the four of us, there's only one who's been in one for sure. And so she kind of showed us the ropes and everything else. But it's been phenomenal so far. I've had no issues, and it's been great. So we did meet tonight, which we normally do, because every time we have a live stream, I'm also having a book club meeting to talk about the books that we're reading in this and the third. And
Nice.
I know that starting today, we got a new book that we're gonna read. And I think so far we've read two books within the last past what 3 months as of right now.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's kind of doable.
yeah. And
How do you
For
find the
so
normal,
time?
like normal readers.
right.
Ron,
And
how
so
do you
you're,
find the time? Because I can't even see myself doing that, especially all the stuff that I'm doing. Like I would like to read, like I'm reading certain
mhm,
books now, but it's on and off. But I
yeah.
just can't imagine like having time for a book club and a family, and then
And it's
working and
go ahead.
then trying to survive in 2023. So I'm like, do you plan on doing that for next year? Because that seems like a lot of wasted time, in my opinion. Just just being
it
real, I'm like, there's no
Yeah.
way. Like, what's the end game? Like, what's the overall purpose of the book club for you?
Okay. So there's twofolds, and I'm pretty much going to answer a lot of your questions. So
Yeah.
the one who started the book club from Twitch, it was more so for her because she wants to get back into reading.
Oh,
Mm.
you're
And
streaming. Oh, you're streaming the book club.
no, and I'm not streaming it. I'm not streaming it.
Oh, okay. All right, y'all
She
should,
she
because that'll kind of make
yeah.
some like content sense. You guys talking about the book club, put it on YouTube, put
Mm,
it on Twitch, and that way it could kind of like go somewhere other than
yeah.
just doing it to hang out.
Yeah, and again, I get what you're saying too, but also at the same time as well with her, because of the fact, and again, she has a family of her own. She has her own business of her own. The one thing that has slipped away from her was her love of reading books, and the one
Okay.
thing she wanted to do was to get back into reading books. but at the same time, because of the fact that she can't do it by herself, meaning if she picks up a book today and begins to read it, she's not going to finish it. It's
Hmm.
going to
Yeah.
stay where she stopped at. Versus with the book club, it actually forces her to read. It forces her to dig in. It forces her to drum up some questions and some discussion to talk about the book, not just amongst herself, but with me and two other people, soon to be like two more. So like with six other people, seven other people, she could talk about this book and kind of get different perspective. That was her end game. And even then, I started reading back when the school got out, and I really did just have time. I had nothing but
Yeah.
time.
Hmm.
And so with
Yeah.
me pastoring and doing everything else, I'm like, man, I'm doing everything else. What can I do for myself? Like
Yeah. If
I
you
like to
enjoy it,
read.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
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 Yep. And so and again, that was me. And then my one goal that I had that I actually did without necessarily thinking about it was try to read like two books before the end was over, before the end of the year. And so
Okay.
the first one that I actually completed was And There Was Light by Joe Meachin. Loved that book. Phenomenal. Like, yes. And the second one that I completed was a book called Such a Fun Age. And that one it's short, but at the same time it's kind of like, okay, this is a different, not something I would normally read, but it's different. And I'm like, okay, I finished two before the year ends. Like, how many more can I do next year? Like, if I really want to put my mind to it, and have the time to, which again, part of my job being the secretary, I have ample amount of time. I have nothing but time because by the time I get to work, there's nobody there for like 40 minutes. So I could get in a good chapter and a half done.
Okay.
Yeah.
As the day progresses, I could still squeeze in maybe another chapter and a half, and by the time I'm ready to go home, I've already read like possibly 3 to 4 chapters on a good day, meaning that nobody comes in. I've got caught up on all of my work. I've submitted all the paperwork, did all the deposits, yada yada yada. Like all that is done, and I still have
Mhm.
time to read. Oh yeah, but of
Yeah.
course, yes.
Yeah.
And even before I go to bed, I kind of make it a point to, read as far as I can until I see two of the same sentences or to read the same paragraph twice. Like, yep, time to go to
Yeah.
bed. Time to go to bed. So,
Yeah. As I'm listening, I'm like, what do I do with my time? And I'm like, how can I incorporate more something for me? But it's like I
mhm,
me and Elle were talking yesterday about, what we do with our time. And I'm like, yeah, everybody's allowed to do what they want with their time, but I'm
mhm,
listening to you. I'm like, I could never do that. Like I could, because I'm such a ROI guy where anything that I do has to amount to something, not for me, but for somebody else. Because it's like I
Mm.
have to do
mhm,
something that's going to evolve me and help somebody else. So like
mhm,
I'm okay with books. I used to actually the only books I would read were like self-help books growing up, and I didn't know those were self-help books. They were just books that I'm like, I like this thing called The Alchemist. There's an anime called The Alchemist. I'll read that. I
yes,
Mm.
like this Think Like a Man, Think as a Man Thinketh by Adam. I forget his last name, but those were self-help books, and I'm like, these are going to help me. And then I'm still using those tools now, but I just don't understand like the need for the fantasy genre. And I could be wrong, and also we're built differently. I
mhm,
just
mhm.
don't see the need for reading a book all day, in my opinion.
Like,
Oh,
I could see
go
like how, just to get your mind like away from everything. Like I could definitely
Yeah,
see that.
but I definitely get my mind away from everything, thinking about how to get me away from everything. Like coming up with a new idea, Drawing, like drawing is pretty fun, or just drawing out a new studio set and building it out and seeing it through. Like
Uh huh.
I, as far as like another man's ideas or another woman's idea, like I don't try to live in it. I try to create my own lane and do what I want. But reading it's never been like, I've been trying to understand, like, why are people so obsessed with like reading these books? Like, draw your own path. I don't know. I'm
I used to
just thought I'd share.
no, like I get that. Like when I
Okay, yeah.
was yeah, like when I was younger, I used to always feel like oh, I'd rather make my own movie than watch a movie.
Yeah, I still
Um,
feel the same way.
right. I guess it's just like sometimes you just like don't want to think, or also it's like
Hmm.
another way of just getting ideas from, just like another person, another book.
Yeah.
If I guess in terms of like your value of return on investment, like if self-help books like rang true to you, then that's probably just like your niche. Like,
Like the most
Hmm.
recent book I read was A Hundred Leads by Alex Ramosi. And I read that book like in a week.
hmm
And I just go through every once in a while. And it's like the time it took me to read the book, I made some leeway back. So it's like, all right, this was investing. Like, and the conversations I was having with people online who read the book allowed me to, make better moves, like network wise. And it's like really cool. So I could kind of understand where the book club could come in, just like a bike group. I rarely go
Hmm.
biking, but every time I go there, there's tons of network of potential. But then again, that's different because the people I go biking with are like, stockbrokers, day traders,
yeah, true.
people who have like tons of network potential. So when we're biking, we're like, hey, so what camera should I buy? And I'm like, all right, I'll tell you about this camera if you tell me what stocks to buy or whatever the case is. It's like a return on the investment for having an expensive bike. It's just
Hmm.
it's like
Hmm.
everything that it's just me personally. I'm not saying that you're wrong or I'm right. I'm just saying like everything that I do in my life and listening to you, like I just don't understand the book club thing. Understanding characters, different worlds. Yeah, everybody's different. But I just was like speaking my point of view on that.
No, I definitely get it. And I did want to ask you, Gil, like the same question. Like, what did you do this year that I guess kind of brought you out of your comfort zone yeah. Because I know that you do have to leave kind of soonish, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, no. So as far as my comfort zone is just like denial. So ever since the month of May, I have published one newsletter on Monday, and that has been something that's been kind of challenging because it's like I can tell how many people are opening and not opening, and it's like, all right, nobody's opening this week. All right, what can I do for next week?
Mm-hmm.
Then I started incorporating creators of the week, shouting out actual photographers, designers, and reaching out to them beforehand. Hey, I'm going to shout you out this week. And all right, oh, cool. What is this? This is a newsletter. And sometimes they read it, sometimes they don't. But then that following morning, when they see, a pretty dope post of them and me writing something about them and who they are, they're like, oh my God, this is great. And then slowly seeing my newsletter grow,
Mm.
and also, it's just been a really good feeling. And it's like, all right, I haven't missed a Monday, except I think one day that I was sick. I think I still just put something out. Even yesterday, I'm like, well, I'm doing a good job right now. I'm working, but so I guess on the way there, I can type something out and put it out there because I'm not missing a Monday. So it's just been staying steady
Hmm.
on that. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't launched a podcast since July, but for me, ideas are always flowing. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how I put out my ideas on my newsletter on Monday, compiling it and just putting stuff out there. Past week on Instagram, I've been pretty intentional of just putting stuff out there and just been okay and realizing that, dude, people aren't going to see your stuff. I created this video cart where I put my Rodecaster Pro and microphone and camera on.
Mm-hmm.
I made it maybe in like July or like August, maybe like July ish. And I made a video on it, talked about it. Nothing ever happened. I just so happened yesterday to post it on social media, and everybody was like, this is genius. I want this. Can I have this? Can you make me one? And it's just knowing that keep putting yourself out there more and just keep doing it, just like I'm doing on my newsletter, just like I'm doing on Twitter. It's just that you have to be consistent. And
Hmm.
it's been great.
Yeah, no, I definitely been seeing you like really, really killing it. And I'm like just really happy and like proud of you.
No, it's
um,
Hmm.
exhausting. Like I had a friend of mine, she told me, "You're so lucky." I'm like, "No, it's not luck." No, she's like, "You're so blessed. You have an amazing life." No, I don't. You don't want this because anybody can have this. It's just that it takes a lot of work. Like a lot of people think that
Oh,
all I do is take pictures, vlogcasts, and put cameras up. It's like I still work full time. I still have my part-time job, which I call content creating. I have another part-time job called podcast production. I have another part-time job called photography,
mhm.
and and I'm also a husband and a son and a friend of a lot of people who need me. So it's like, please take this. I don't want this. Take it, have it. If it's just really tough. But I'm up for the challenge. So next year, I'm just staying the same, consistently uh, striving through and doing what I like to do.
Okay, nice. That's what's up. Yeah. No, like no, you're absolutely right because like the staying the consistent thing, and like you and I, Gail, have this conversation all the time, and it's like, yeah, like it really is just like pushing everything to the side and really just focusing on and just doing what it is that you know you should be doing,
Yeah.
and
I feel like we all know what we should be doing. Like we all
yeah,
know what you got to do. Like last night, I needed to get a project out, but I wanted to do something else. I was like, what should be done. You
hmm,
should kill the big boss, and then you can pretty much get to the next boss. So kill this boss and get to the next level because you can't go to the next level because you have this old boss. So you have to
right,
keep going. Kill this thing that's in front of you and knock
yeah.
it out. That's how I look at it.
Like Mark Twain has a famous quote that he said, like, if you have to eat a frog every day, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. So
Yeah,
like if there's
knock
like
it out.
this, yeah, so if there's like this annoying thing, like because like if you eat the frog like for dinner, all you're gonna be doing is thinking about how you have to eat this frog and how
Yeah,
much it's like you don't want to do
yeah.
that, but you're gonna
Even
if you
like
have
something
to.
like I forgot who said it. It was like a couple years ago. Like have the worst thing possible first. I guess the frog method, and
Yeah.
then anything else is okay. There's this old anime called Berserk, and the
Mm,
main character, he's pretty much like a mercenary. And when he faces new challenges, he's like, "Oh, this is just like any other castle that I have to, slaughter, kill, pillage. Is and the next one's going to be the same way too." So it's like any other task I have, talking to clients on the phone. Oh my gosh, so I charge 500 for this. No, this is the same as the last person. The next person is going to be exactly the same. They're going to either say yes or they're going to say no.
mm.
And I'm either not going to get respond. I have a lot of people in my DMs who haven't read, and I know a lot of people who can't handle that. You send a message to someone and they just leave you on read, and or they can't afford you, or they say no, or they say, "Hey, I would like to book you. I can't pay you right now. Come to the shoot." You come to the shoot, and they don't pay you, and then you never get paid. A lot of people can't deal with that, but
Right.
that's everything, and it's always going to happen. That's life. And I know for next year, I'm going to deal with at least 100,000 of those. I hope I do, because that means I'm probably going to have 100,000 of people who say yes. You know,
Yeah.
bad things happen. So and it's perfectly fine. And if bad things aren't happening to you, that means you aren't living at your truest potential. Like I tell my wife that all the time. She's like, everything's going great. I'm like, well, it's time to fuck shit up because things gotta break. Like your
come
body
on.
literally breaks when you work out. Your
Yeah.
body literally breaks when you work out.
Right.
So when somebody's like, I don't want to
True.
be in pain,
Yeah.
sorry. Like,
Right.
like the only thing that shouldn't break or like having issues is your computer. Like that should work all the time. But your body is meant to heal. Like, Jesus died on the cross, and he did heal when he got off from the cross though. He does have like healing capability. All right, you're not Jesus though, but
That's
you know,
true. I am not.
we all go through stuff, and
Come on.
it's okay. We all go through stuff, and it's okay.
Right. You know, like Ron said earlier, the age old, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah. We're all just like, a lot of the reason for like procrastination is just not wanting to feel hurt. You know, like they say like procrastination is the fear of success, because it's
Yeah.
like, you know, if you're trying to do something and it goes wrong, then you're just right back to where you were. However, if you do the thing and it goes right, now you're in this new situation that you have to navigate, whether you like it or not.
And that's scary.
It
Yeah,
is.
but I feel like everybody's naturally lazy, you know? So what you're saying, Gil, is that it takes guts. Oh gosh. Hope y'all got that joke. That's hilarious. Um, but what was I
Oh,
saying? I feel like we're naturally lazy. We're naturally lazy. We don't want to do anything, and I feel that sometimes. Like this morning, last night I wanted to go to the gym. This morning I woke up really early before my shoot, and I wanted to go to the gym, but I didn't. And I was like, oh, I should have. I should have. But my
mm-hmm.
body's like, just lay down and chill. Let's do something else. And I was like, nah. So I succumb to the human in me, but we have to like supersede that and transcend that and kind of like go against what we want to do innately, which is nothing. Like sometimes I don't want to do anything, and then a client calls me, "Hey, can I do a podcast?" My body is saying no, but my pockets is telling me yes. You know, it's just I don't know why I did that, but yeah, sometimes
You're
you
right
just
though.
have to say yes. You have to say yes. You know, especially if you have other people counting on you. You have bills to pay. You got mouths to feed. Ain't nothing in this world for free.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's
Yeah,
tough being an adult
it
with
is.
responsibilities.
Yeah, and like bills to pay and like not living with your parents. No offense to
Yeah.
anybody living with your parents. I get
Oh,
it.
I mean, I feel like living with your parents is a lot of work because
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
I moved
true.
I moved out at 19. I got my first apartment at 19, and before I moved out, I was doing a lot, and I did not do a lot for myself. And you just kind of feel like you have to do more. Hey, you're taking care of your parents financially, taking care of bringing them to the hospital. They're borrowing your car, you're filling their gas tank, and you're like, whoa, what's left over for me? Like even
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved out at 19, and I haven't came back since because I I can't do it. Even when mother-in-law comes over, sometimes it's just like, yeah, I can't do that. No hate or no shade, but it's just like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to basically come in and podcast. I remember one time I had my mother-in-law over, and I had some beautiful models come in here, and my mother-in-law like threw so much shade that my there was it was literally darkness. She threw so much, like one of my models said, "Hey, how are you?" And she literally looked at her, sized her up, and like walked away. And I'm like, "Oh my god, what
Oh
is
my.
wrong with you, Haitian lady?" But yeah, it's tough. It's very interesting. It's so funny.
That is.
Facts, Rocky.
It's like, does she
Facts.
not know what you do? Like that's part
No,
of.
she knows.
Right.
Oh, Rocky.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Oh, I want to like Rocky. I hate the hustle culture. It's not. It's horrible. It's I remember I mean, I don't subscribe to the hustle culture, but recently somebody said that I am a part of the hustle culture, and that looking at my Instagram feed is suffocating and toxic. Somebody called me toxic in front of my
right.
face. They said that I'm toxic. I think I was telling you this the other day. Like somebody
Yeah.
literally labeled me as toxic, and
Right.
I 100% get it, but I don't get it at the same time because it's like everybody is able to do exactly what anybody can do. A paraplegic can do exactly what I do. You know, the only person that can't do what I do is a blind person, maybe. They can't take photos or produce a podcast, whatever the case is.
I mean, they
But
produce an audio podcast for
if,
sure.
Yeah, I know, but it's like
I know I get it. I'm just
I'm the type of person where if there was an opportunity for me to jump to a new island or new ledge, I would do it. I'm not. I'm very adventurous. I try anything. I'll do anything. Something new. Like I'm not afraid of like risking something. Like I enjoy my life now. But if somebody were to tell me, Gil, we want you to come to Lakeland, Florida, and move away from your friends. Get done. Move away from your family. Yeah, we haven't finished the sentence yet. I'm ready to go. Try something new. I'm not bounded by like anything.
Mhm.
And the hustle culture, it's I don't know. I understand why people would say that that's toxic, but I feel like everybody's been hustling their entire life. You have to work. My dad had two jobs.
Mhm.
Growing up, my mom had two jobs as well. My dad had two jobs and a business when he came to America. So it's like
Mm.
I wouldn't call it hustle culture. I just feel like, hey, I'm just following my dad. My dad did the same thing that I did. He had mouths to feed. I don't. I just got me and my wife. And somebody will say, well, why are you working so hard? Well, I'm helping my parents out,
Yeah.
helping my mother-in-law out. So it's like,
Yeah,
I don't have
Mhm.
kids, but I do have responsibilities,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
true.
But the
Mm.
hustle culture, the whole hustle culture, when I hear it, I think about scammers. Hey, buy this thing real quick. It's $100. Like one day somebody, like here's the hustle culture in my opinion. You go on somebody's page and they're selling face mask. And then you go on their page a month later, they're selling like laser mouth treatment. Then 1 month later, they're selling like a course on, you know, how to do Botox. That's the hustle culture. The person doesn't have any like real love for the thing that they're selling or any knowledge. They're just trying to make a quick buck. Like,
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, I guess like I mean, I would say that's definitely an aspect of hustle culture. I guess like to me, like when everybody's just pretty much like you remember when the whole team no sleep thing came out around like the 2010s.
Oh God.
And
What was up with that? That was stupid.
I don't know. I don't know like cuz it's like why weren't people sleeping? Like what were they anyway, but like that's
Sleep is
kind of like
important.
where I feel like the hustle culture
Mhm.
kind of like spun off from where it's just like, oh, you got to be making money every second of your life. You got to be doing this and that. And I'm like, I mean, if that's just who you are and that's just what you do, and that like that's fine. Like Gil and I know that we're having this conversation about Hermosi, Adam Hermosi, it's Adam, right?
Alex.
Alex. I don't know. Why I keep I call
Alex
like
Puffy Hamosi. Yeah.
his middle name's really Puffy.
No, he's trying to make the word puffy popular, so I'm gonna help him out with the algorithm.
Okay, all right, Alex
Yeah.
Puffy Hermosi. I mean, I guess P
Yeah.
Diddy doesn't really have Puffy anymore.
No. Yeah.
How like all he does is just work and go to the gym and he's happy. And it's like I guess it's always risky to say those things because it's like it could just be seen as hustle culture. However, if that's just him and that's what makes him happy and like he's not harming anybody, then that's fine.
Yeah.
I can understand like
Mhm.
indirectly harming people who feel like, oh, if he can do it, then I can. It's like, no, if that's not who you are.
No, the issue is when somebody is getting harmed by looking at it, and the thing is, they're only hurting themselves
Mm.
because they feel insecure. Like, oh, I wish that was me, or more so, gosh,
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything in my life. So it's like they're up. You're indirectly upsetting somebody. Like, I don't know. I notice a lot of times on my social media posts I'll have people who are doing what I'm doing creatively, hey, awesome, brother, keep it up. That's what's up. That's dope. And then it'll be someone who isn't doing what I'm doing or aspiring to do what I'm doing who will critique my work. Like I just posted a video recently, and then everybody's showing love, everybody's doing this, and then there's like this one guy, hey, if I were you, I would do this instead. I would have done this way. Why don't you do this? And it's just like, dude, just shut up and just like this post, you know?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I feel like there's always a sense of, oh man, I wish that was me. But it can be you. you just have to like get out of that mental rut. You know, we all
Mhm.
want to be somebody. Like I've spoken to a YouTuber yesterday who has over 700,000 subscribers, and he's
Okay.
doing very well for himself.
Right.
And basically, like we're talking face to face, we're hanging out, and he's like, man, I really wish I had XYZ. And I'm like, gee golly, I'm nowhere near subscribers or of a creator as you, and I wish I was in your shoes. And at the same time, we're both aspiring to be somewhere else. And
Mm.
I feel like there's no matter where you go in your life, there will always be a place where you're like, oh man, I wish I had this. Like, oh man, I wish I
Mhm.
had that. And then you, when you get it, you're like, oh, everything would be better if I had this.
Mm.
And it's no, we would never be happy or content, because this is, we have this envy and want culture, and it's not healthy. Hustle cultures, it's always been here. It always will be here. The issue is us. Envy, you know, coveting other people's, you know, lives or their wants and
Mhm.
stuff like that. That's, I
Right.
think, what the issue is.
I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree.
Yeah. No, like when you said that hustle culture is um, getting upset from viewing it, I was like, yeah, that's actually true. Because
Yeah.
like if the person is like hustling and trying to do their own thing, that's only like themselves, you know.
It's
However,
it's
if
not
they're
even it's not even that hustle culture. I have been told twice by a few of my best friend who are women that, can you please stop posting these type of photos with your wife because it triggers me. And in theory, it will be the same thing as me posting me working. So
okay,
the
oh,
issue is us. I've had two women in the past 5, 10 years of close women that I know tell me it triggers me when you post your happy time with your wife. Can you stop doing that? I don't
because
want
they
to
want
see
to
it.
pretend like your wife doesn't exist.
No, no, they just hate happiness. They just
Oh, it's
don't
because
want
they
to.
hate. Oh,
They
I thought
just
it was
hate
like a
see
level of jealous. Oh, okay, because they
it,
don't
but
have
it's a
that.
level of. They don't have that. It's the same
Gotcha.
thing as the hustle
Okay.
culture. It's the
Gotcha.
same exact thing.
Gotcha.
Nobody
Okay.
wants to be happy. It's
Okay.
just like, oh, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see you making money all day. I don't want to see you doing a podcast. I'm just showing you that this is possible. I don't
Yeah.
want to see you loving your black wife. I want to show you that it's possible to have a partner who loves and cares about you. I want to show you that you can wake up and do what it is that you want to do. I don't want to see that. I hate hustle culture. You're hustling. And it's the same exact thing, nothing different.
Okay. Because they're seeing you doing something and they're not doing anything.
Yeah. Or they're not doing it. They want to do it themselves, but they're afraid or they don't
Yeah.
know how. And
Right. So they'd rather not
it's
see it.
yeah,
I get you. I get you. Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Mhm.
That is
Like when I'm at,
crazy.
yeah, it's true when you
It's
think
like
about it.
I don't want to see you with your wife because it's like what? Sorry, that's
Yeah. Like you know, so much for black love. You know, it's just like, what's going on here? Yeah.
Right. Right. But you know what though? I and I found myself like this early on in my early 20s to my mid 20s, where it's like you have this some sort of competitive edge to be either one, like somebody else, and or two, um not necessarily giving yourself enough grace to accept who you are. And so you're trying to improve yourself to be something that I want to say is clearly out your reach, but you're almost wanting to live somebody else's life on your own terms.
mm-hmm.
And by doing so, you almost lose sight of who you are as an individual. And when you get to that point where it's like, okay, went through the mud, the muck, and the mire, and now here I am on this level that, hey, I'm here, I made it, but yet I'm still not satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do the next thing, or I want to be the next whatever, and not necessarily kind of soaking in that moment. And so it's like, okay, striving for the next. What's the best thing that nobody has done yet? I want to do it. And if I can't be the first person to do it, then I don't want nobody else to do it. So it's like, why?
Right. Yeah.
Chill. And so I know for me, speaking for myself and coming from my own experience, it was more so like, okay, dude, learn how to show yourself some grace, because you it's not to say that you can't do it, you can, but at the same time, if one person who is at the top of the game, if they got there, but you don't know how much they had to, not necessarily struggle, but the fight to get to where they're at, you may not be able to handle what they went through to get there. You might
Mm-hmm.
quit before you even get started. You may get halfway through and be like, you know what? It's too much. I can't do it. And just not necessarily try to do it. But again, it's like, ugh. So,
Mm-hmm.
and again, I know for me, it was more so, again, show myself some grace,
Mm-hmm.
understand that what's for me is for me.
Right.
And even as I'm striving towards whatever my goal is that I have in mind, understand that it's not going to be perfect. That yes, you're going to slip, you're going to fall, you're going to fail, and you have to embrace that, because how else are you going to grow as a person, as an individual? How else are you going to learn from those mistakes to be better? How else are you going to pave the way for somebody else and be like, hey, I've been down that road before. You don't want to go there. This is what's going to happen if you keep going. Or, hey, I see you bumping your head and you about to split your head wide open. So rather do that, go this way, or try this. If it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. You at least you tried, and go from there.
Right. Exactly. They always say it's better to try something and fail than to never try it at all. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, because if you don't try it, then you're always going to be thinking about it. You're always going to have that what if haunting you for the rest of your life, and you really don't want
Regret.
that.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
that's why you see like these articles of like 80-year-olds finally getting their GED or like their bachelor's degree or something, because that was like the thing that's just been haunting them for so long, and it's like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go do this.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, at their age it seems ridiculous, but like I get it though. It's what made them happy. Like I don't want to get to that age and think like, oh, if only I did this, if only I tried. Like
Yeah.
I don't. That just terrifies me.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna challenge yourself to do for 2024, y'all?
I am going to challenge myself on being more consistent. I'm going to challenge myself on like actually following through with what I try to do. Like I've been kind of practicing like from like November, December, maybe even I don't know. Like I've been trying to go to the gym twice a week just to get myself
Yeah.
back in the gym routine.
Yeah.
Hasn't been going the best, but it's like something that I can realistically stick to. So I'm like, all right. There's been several
So let me
weeks
ask you
where,
this.
yeah,
Uh, Wait, hold on. You had a trainer before.
I did have a trainer. Yeah.
Yeah, I just was like, wait, yeah, what happened with the trainer?
He got like more expensive and he was trying to do like virtual training and it just wasn't really working for me.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he raised his prices and then like everything around me raised its prices and I'm like, I gotta let go of this so I can
Yeah.
pay
Mm-hmm.
my other things. But I do think about him like a lot because
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, like, but I mean, realistically, like that has to be something that I have to do, like,
Yeah.
and I always feel better for it. Like, one thing I am going to do for sure is to
You got it, Chad.
like, two
2-bedroom apartment and this, yeah, and the rent.
and gym
Yeah.
this. Okay, yeah, yeah, no, definitely go for it, go for it. I'm definitely gonna just like try to do the things that I keep telling myself I'm gonna do.
Redesign your room for a studio set. Do it.
Yeah. Like, Chad, if you were to redesign your room for a studio set, like, what would you ideally want to like podcast or create content for? Elle's trainer got her to the league. She needs someone to take her to the next level.
Right?
Mhm.
I feel
There it
like that.
goes.
I feel like that person's has to just be myself.
Yep.
Like
Future L is gonna come through a time machine and train you.
that would
That's it.
be amazing. I'd like to meet Future
Swole
L.
and just like huge.
Just cock diesel.
Yeah, she's gonna probably like she's gonna be streaming live on Twitch, like what do you call those, like real time streaming? Just like, hey guys, I'm meeting like my weak, puny Earth 2 self. Something
Man.
like that.
So she doesn't even
But
have
I
an
gotta
8
bounce,
pack
y'all.
yet. Oh,
I
okay.
gotta pick up my wife from work, but I will be listening. If I make it back in time, I'll hop back on if you guys are still on.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Thank you so much for joining. It's always a pleasure. You're welcome anytime.
Yes. Yes,
All
Gil.
right,
Always
y'all.
welcome.
Yeah.
Peace.
See you.
How do I get out of
Peace.
here? Am I gone? Am I still here?
That's balloons.
That's Ecamm. Ecamm does that, and it's stupid. It's
I
just
think you
dumb.
just like hang up. Like there's like, isn't there like an X?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, love it.
I love the balloons.
Love it.
I'm leaving. Celebration.
Right? Right. Oh, speaking of celebration, L, did you talk about what you did that was challenging this year?
No, not yet. So what I did
Mm.
this year that was challenging, that was definitely getting out of my comfort zone was um learning how to swim properly. Um You're best around. Elle's never gonna let you down. Elle yelling in the background. I mean, that's the goal. Like learning to swim properly. Like
Mm.
I know I've mentioned this several times on the stream. Like every Sunday, my boyfriend and I were. Well, my boyfriend was like teaching me how to swim properly because wasn't the best swimmer. I wasn't the strongest swimmer, and then I had dislocated my shoulder. And that was a form of getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. It just
Mhm.
sucks because it wasn't like planned, of course, you know. So just realizing, like starting from ground zero, bare minimum.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what's up? Yeah, like starting from ground zero, but like just yeah, learning how to doing like these very tiny isometric exercises. Like one of them would literally just be like at a 90-degree angle facing the wall and just pressing the wall for like 5 seconds and then stopping 5 seconds, stopping. I had to do like several of these. Like I'm trying to see if I like remember. Yeah, like pressing against with like my elbow, like just different like like different muscles of the shoulder, and
Mhm.
like doing that twice a day every day, doing like a wall crawl and holding, like it was just very humbling.
Mm.
And it was also kind of cool because like every day I was getting stronger.
Mhm.
And with like these little tiny movements that, I'm out here thinking like this is BS. This is like what am I doing? But this is the only direction that I have.
Mhm.
And so like every day I was doing that for like a couple of weeks, and then I was able to take off the sling because I was in a sling. Um, yeah, just having like that, you know, just that gradual build was like very rewarding.
Yes.
And even though like my shoulder, it's this one, even though my shoulder isn't like 100%, it's just realizing just how amazing the body is and how much you just really have to take care of it and how it can actually just repair itself was just like, you know, it was just incredible. Only learning to swim.
Facts, Rocky. Facts.
Heck no. Navy SEAL training sounds terrifying. No, like I could leave that for the Navy SEALs. That is not something I am trying to join. But yeah, that was definitely getting out of my comfort zone. Um, really delving into money.
Ooh.
Starting to delve in. I want to say I really, really delved in. No, not yet. There were a couple of times when I was trying to have like my boyfriend come and like we could and have a swim, but like there were like we just couldn't find like a day to do that. But like my doctor has okayed me to swim, just like nothing like overhead like what I was doing, which caused it. Just
Mm-hmm.
I guess like I think it's breaststroke. I think that's easier on the shoulders. But I do
Mm-hmm.
plan on it. I'm not gonna lie, like I am nervous and scared too, obviously. But I don't want that to be something that I stop doing. Yeah, for
Gotcha.
sure. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, always down. Are you talking to this L here? Or are you talking to future L that I guess is listening? About meeting at Gamers Heaven. He's gonna be like, "That's not you." 2024 monetize L. Yeah, yeah. What else? Yeah, like definitely getting into like investing and just like thinking about my future and how to make money now so I'm comfortable later on. That's been like it's been kind of nerve-wracking
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know if like I don't like nobody knows what the future holds exactly.
Right.
And I just know that I don't want to be broke. Like I don't want to be struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to figure out everything that I can do now to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that I am comfortable later, you know. So, yeah, I'm trying to think like what else have I done that's like getting me out of my comfort zone. Um, I don't know. What I am going to do, and that's definitely more of like a 2024 thing
Mm-hmm.
and might start this year cuz I hate the whole like oh I I feel like when you're at this time in the year, you're always like, oh, that's like a next year problem. It's a next year thing. I'm just going to magically do it next year. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to bring up like that old school like ITT tech commercial. It's like, no, do it right now. Sign up right now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
But
Mhm.
it's like, no, I'm gonna try and start right now. Like, I don't like waiting until the next year to like magically start. Like everybody who signs up for the gym, January 1st, 2024. No offense, Chad. Uh, but yeah, yeah. So like that's been like my thing for this year. Trying to think like
Mhm.
what else. Like I would say those were like the big ones. Were learning to swim, my shoulder dislocating, and seeing like how I can what what exercises to do to make not even just my shoulder but just like different parts of my body feel better, and realize like it's not just me getting old, it's just me needing more movement,
Mhm.
the right way. And yeah, just trying to figure out like how to invest and things like that, and not being too afraid of you know, or procrastinating, like waiting for the right time to invest, like, or just taking a chance, taking a risk, and like, hey, let me just put money in here and just see what happens. Let me
Right.
just see. Never broke again, young girl. Is that what NBA stands for NBA Young Boy?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, it does.
okay. Because I'm
Yes,
sitting
it
here
does.
like I thought it has something to do with basketball. Like,
Mm-mm.
okay, all right, never broke again. Okay, I dig it. All right, Ron. Gil asked you a question. Like, what are your plans?
What are my plans? Let's see. Well, let's see. I know with the majority of my student loans pretty much being forgiven
Nice,
and get yeah, and I still
nice.
gotta pay. I still gotta pay off on a couple, which is fine. I get it,
Okay, yeah.
but because of the fact that with those student loans being forgiven, and it's kind of making not necessarily like a big impact, which is crazy because it dropped my credit score a lot.
It does
Don't
that.
ask me.
I know. The credit score is so stupid. Like,
Yeah,
you pay off things and it's like, oh, that's bad. It's like,
right,
what? Like,
right. It's so with the majority of my credit cards, with the majority of my student loans forgiven and whatnot, and I'm just paying off of I think maybe like a couple more, but then again, I don't know with this new Supreme Court. Thanks, Chad. With this new Supreme Court notice I got in the mail saying that one of the colleges that I went to was involved in that court case, in that one I could very well not end up paying, but I'm gonna probably end up paying as it is anyways. But pretty much get my credit score up to the point where I either one with the missus, one buy a house, two buy land to build a house upon it, or three buy a house because the current house that we're in, nah,
mm-hmm.
it's a good rental, especially for the amount that I'm paying for, which is the cheapest rent that you could find in my city.
Okay.
And, and so it's like, you know what? Yeah, build the credit up so we can go ahead and, you know, man, listen, if only I could, you have no idea. Oh, you have no idea. But no, like I really want like me and the missus, we were sitting around, we were talking, we're like, yeah, like next year um we want to either one, buy a home or two, build one.
Mm-hmm.
And and that's it. And even then, I know the one hiccup was, even though, yeah, with me working for the school system was a good thing, but because of the fact that my income wasn't quote unquote high enough, it was like, okay, cool, I get that. And so now that my income is at a certain threshold where it's like, yeah, I can support it,
Right.
and and be able to get my credit score bumped up to the point where it can support it, like that's what we're going to do. You know, do that. So that's one plan. And then another plan, like UL, is really, being consistent. And I know this year with me not streaming as much, it was kind of like but again, like I was busy doing 1,000 other things to the point where if I did stream, it will be very short lived. I may stream like a day or two, and then you know that would be it until the next month. Then it will be a couple days. Until the next month, it'll be a couple days. So I want to get back because I want to get back consistently into streaming, and also really um, capitalizing on a lot of personal goals. I know that with again, me getting a promotion and getting the new health insurance plan that
Mm-hmm.
the school district is a part of, and I was able to I was actually able to log in and see what that looks like. And so
Okay.
now it's like, okay, I want to start looking for a primary care position and go from there.
Nice. Nice.
Start looking for um, a mental health physician, and then especially because of the fact that I want to try to stay within my network as much as possible and not
Mm-hmm.
pay an exorbitant amount for preventative care and or just the mental health stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you know, that's what I want to do. And so hopefully I can get a hold of tech support and let them know, like, hey, your website is not allowing me to find doctors, and I need to find a doctor, even though my current doctor, love my doctor's office. However, if me switching my primary care physician, and especially one within the network, is going to save me a little bit more money, okay, I'll do that. I will do it in a heartbeat and not blink an eye.
Mm-hmm.
So would. And so just really taking my health into consideration, and really just going for it. Just go for it and see what happens in the end.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, I like that. And I'm really excited for you all, for your family, for considering either buying land or buying a home and then
Hmm.
building a home on top of that land. I
Yeah.
th- I owning land is always better than owning a home. Um I guess in terms of like I want to say resale value, but like having more control,
Hmm.
because you can own your home, but if you don't own the land, then like whoever owns the land could like sell the land. I don't know the laws and logistics of it completely.
Hmm.
So, I could be wrong, but like if you buy a home in an area and that area could possibly just get bought out by someone who's like, "Oh, I'm going to turn it into like a luxury style apartment mixed use with like stuff on, like retail on the bottom." And it's like, yeah, that's a good idea if people weren't already living here. But if like they bought the land and they could technically do what they want. Of course, I'm not 100% sure. I do not know the logistics,
Hmm.
but of course, like the likelihood of that isn't really big. So at least I assume. I don't know. Well, like, but yeah, I mean, I'd say if you can own the land, definitely try to own the land.
Right,
Like,
right.
but owning a home is, yeah, like I like it a lot. Like even honestly, like just this past Sunday and Monday, like my doorknob, like like damn near fell apart,
Mm,
and I had to like tighten it to like a way just so I can be able to leave my house because I was kind of trapped on the inside, and I was like, well, I guess I'm getting a doorknob. I don't have a choice. My
right.
sister, I sent a text to the family. One of my sisters was like, "Oh, you should probably try to order one on Amazon. It'll probably come to you the same day." I was like, "That is a good idea." However, Amazon will be like, "Yeah, it's coming today," and then by like 9 p.m. it'll be like, "Oh, just kidding, we're coming tomorrow." And I'm like, I can't risk that. so
Right, right.
so I yeah, so like I went to Home Depot yesterday. Like I had very little time because it was like right after physical therapy, and it's like I have to get back to work before this meeting, and I'm just like like in Home Depot. I'm like, this one,
Right?
yeah, and it was over $100, which is nonsense. And I was like, all right, I hope this works. And then my friend came over and installed it. It works, and
Hmm.
that's just my doorknob now. But and like I have to get my AC looked at again for the 5011th time.
What?
Yeah, because it just keeps leaking. So there's probably something like behind the front part of the unit that needs to get looked at. So I'm gonna have to call a professional. Fortunately, it's been pretty cool these past couple of days, so that's good.
Hmm. Hmm.
But regardless of all the crap that I go through with owning a home, I personally feel like it's a lot better and a lot cheaper than renting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And even then, when you were talking about it, it reminded me of the fact of the matter that Michigan is they have a pool of $5 million just set aside for communities to use to help change their zoning laws so that those very same communities can eventually get and build affordable housing for people to live in, and it's like awesome, great. And so the government is saying like, yeah, you could get $50,000 that is usable to change the zoning laws, to update the zoning laws to the point where if you wanted to build a multi-family unit on a piece of property, you can do so.
Okay.
And it won't get, looked at funny. Those type of ordeals because even then, like the city that I live in, it has a huge homelessness crisis.
Mhm.
And nobody is willing to step up and step in to rectify it, but they know that it's happening a lot.
Mhm.
And so, like, okay, if the average person is making anywhere from 15.50 an hour, but yet they're struggling to find housing, that's an issue.
Mhm.
With one of the biggest manufacturing companies within the city, they're paying people like 16, $17 an hour. And that's just them coming off the street getting into the door. We're not talking about maintenance technicians. We're not talking about um, what is it called? Group leads, supervisors. We're not even going to talk about them. Just simply getting into the door. You
Mm-hmm.
know, 16, $17 an hour. I know when I was working at Taco Bell, believe it or not, I was making like $15 an hour.
Right.
And and mind you, I was working late nights. And so it was like, yeah, it's crazy that you can work, almost 40, 80 hours a week and turn around and still not afford housing, which is crazy,
Mm-hmm.
crazy. And yet it happens on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And it happens way too often. So it's like, you know what? Let's do it. And especially like Chad was saying, especially with the housing market the way how it is, where the interest rate I do believe is supposed to be going down, which is going to entice a lot more buyers to buy homes. Go for it. I know here in Michigan, um, there was a lady who was talking about the program that the state of Michigan was having. She was saying, come next year, as the interest rate becomes lower, it will entice a lot of people to start buying homes. Mind you, yes, the cost and the materials and everything else is still through the roof. However, when everything is all said and done, the overall price of it should be lower to
Mm-hmm.
the point where it's like, hey, if you got it, go for it. Do it. And do it before it skyrockets back up to the moon. And yeah, and now you got to pay like a whole body just to, live comfortably.
Right. Exactly. No, it's terrible. Like it's sick. Like in Florida we're having like an insurance crisis,
Mm,
and it's affecting like elderly folks a lot. Like I live in a neighborhood where everyone is like most people. Well, before everyone started moving down here, most people are like 10 plus years older than me. And like
mm-hmm,
one of my neighbors, I think she's like in her 70s, um, undergoing like cancer treatment. I think in remission, she's doing fine or something. But like, just trying to live her life, get by. Very sweet older lady.
mm-hmm,
And she's saying like, yeah, insurance is going up and like HOAs are going up, and a lot of people who are retired and they're on fixed incomes, and they don't know what to do. Like they don't like if they sell their place, they don't know where to go.
mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people are trying to be near family or like yeah, like it's just very terrible. It's just very sickening because everything is just going up in price. It's
Mm-hmm.
never going to go down. And like, it's like, why are you raising just everything all the time? Like,
Right.
I wish I knew how to like convey this properly. like, like for example, like everybody in my neighborhood, we have a quarterly HOA and like a monthly HOA,
Mm-hmm.
and which isn't common. And the quarterly went up almost $20, and then the monthly has gone up $100, and that's just extra money that's going to like like it's going to what it goes to, which is like dealing with like the pool and the amenities and things like that.
Hmm.
But it's like, I guess it's like none of that money is going back to like me, you know?
Right.
I guess you can argue it's like, okay, it's going to like for comfort and convenience of things, but it's it's just crazy.
Yeah. No, I get it.
And
I get it.
yeah, and it's like, is there any end in sight? Like what is going to happen? I just think it's funny and ironic how, we have a governor and like, people who support him and they're like, "Oh, we don't want to be like California or New York." And I'm like, "We're already there. What are you talking about?"
Hmm.
you know? It's like we just don't have weed legal or something, It's like we are already there.
Right.
Like it's I don't know, like it's like who's to blame but I guess capitalism. Um
Hmm.
yeah, just greed, just regular old handy dandy greed.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, it is insane. I really feel bad for these people because like even if I wasn't able to afford it, I can always just get a better paying job. Or I could just get like a second job. Or I could really start to just haul ass on, like a side gig or like,
Hmm.
not necessarily like a second like like a gig doing something or like doing I don't know, like DoorDash or something like that. And I'll be able to make ends meet and then probably wouldn't be too many extra hours out of my day,
Hmm.
or a week or a month or whatever. But like these old folks, like they can't be like door dashing, you know, they can't be task rabbiting. And
Right.
yeah, and they shouldn't need to. Like that's the overall, thing. Like they shouldn't need to. And the fact that this is what our economy is going to come to, like I don't know. I feel like I've mentioned this on the stream before. If not, I'll say it again. But like every time I go on the Nextdoor app, which isn't often because the app is just hella racist, but every time I go on the
Hmm.
Nextdoor app, I always see people saying like, "Hey, do you know of any 55 and over communities that are renting for like 800 a month?" Like I live with my mom, and like the mom is like 80, and the person who's posting this is like her, like 60, 58-year-old daughter, so she's already like pretty up there in age.
Hmm.
Probably just working towards like soon to be retired sort of thing. And they're posting they're making these posts like all the time, and nobody can help them because like they'll be like, oh, they're raising our rent by like 100, 150, 200. And like these amounts may not seem like much, but if you're living on like a fixed income, it's it's a lot. Like if you need that money for like your medication, on top of like everything else, like with car insurance going up and
Yes.
just everything. It's like having to pay an extra 100, 200, or 300, 500, whatever. It's astronomical. And
Agreed.
yeah, and then and nobody can help them, and there's just nothing that can be done. Like like I mean, yeah, things can be done, but those things aren't going to be done. And it's just very sad to see that
Hmm.
the only reason why I'm okay is just because I am young and have a good enough paying job. Like that's it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I felt that. I felt that through
Yeah.
and through because I think about my grandmother and she's still working, even though she's retired. But with her, she doesn't look like her age.
See you,
All right,
Chad.
no. Hey, see you, Chad. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah.
Night
Good night.
is so,
So
you
you
know,
said your grandma doesn't look her age?
no, she's like, I want to say like she's like 82,
Mm-hmm.
but she looks like she could still be in her 70s, like early 70s, and is able to move around on her own, able to drive, able to do a lot, and so when she got her own apartment, it was like, yeah, I want to have my own apartment and I want to live by myself and do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it and not
Right.
really care. I was like, okay, grandma, go for it. Do what you got
Mm-hmm.
to do,
Yeah.
you know. And it's always good seeing her because it's like, yeah, she lived a very full, long life, and she really doesn't want for anything
Mm-hmm.
other than to spend time with her great grandkids, and that's really it. That's all she really wants is to spend some time with her great grands. Of course, with me and my brother, we'll go down there and visit her whenever we get a chance to, and you know go from there. So it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, understanding that she's supposed to enjoy her life, but then again, she's already enjoyed her life like two times over, and it still like, you know what? I'm cool. I have everything that I need, and really don't need anything else. And she's okay with that, you know. But I feel for those who do not have the same luxury as her
Mm-hmm.
because rather than retiring and enjoy their spoils, they're just continuously working past the age of retirement because, again, they just don't have it. And it's
Mm-hmm.
sad. It's very sad.
Right. Yeah. And like they really shouldn't be. They really ideally they really shouldn't be. They should only do it if like they want to or if they're,
Hmm.
just bored with retirement.
Right.
But other than that, it's like yeah, it's it's scary. Like it's like what are we gonna do? Like what can we do? Like, is it
Hmm.
really just every person for themselves or is it are we going to like change the laws and just make everything cheaper? Are we going to like calm things down or like
Hmm.
I don't know. It's like I feel like this nation doesn't care about our elderly and it doesn't care about young people.
Mm.
Like I think it just only cares about, who can make money.
Yes.
Like
Mm. Go ahead, El. Go ahead.
yeah, like I was talking to my friend about this the other day how children, let's not do that, Rocky. No. Um, I was talking to my friend about this the other day how children seem to just be used as cannon fodder as a way to just like assuage people to, think like, just to convince people to like be against something, before something, vote a certain way, sort of thing. But they're never really taking the kid into account.
Right.
Um, so yeah. So like, but if you ever see like what locals are doing, like locals are saying and things like that, it's like, oh, they're gonna, not allow kids to like, teenagers to just kind of roam around malls anymore. I'm like, they have nowhere to go. If like
Mhm.
if they can't drive, or even if they can drive and they don't have access to a car, they literally can't do anything really. They
Mhm.
need a third place. They need a place to go that isn't school or home or work and home. And y'all aren't really thinking about the little kids, but you're trying to be like, oh, the kids can't, do XYZ or ABC or this and that. It's like, maybe talk to the kids.
Right.
Um, the nation only cares about money, not who makes it, and barely who even has it. Just the money, Uncle Sam said. True. He did say that.
Ah, yes, FTK.
Yeah. And um and like when it comes to like elderly folks, like you see, Republicans always trying to vote against Social Security or any sort of like future money, like trying to just get money out for why? Like I don't know. Like it's weird. Like
Mhm.
I don't know. It's like they're just trying to like churn out a factory of people. Whereas like, they're trying to ban abortion and just trying to have people have a bunch of kids, mainly in poverty. So those
Mhm.
kids were more likely to go to jail so they can start making money because that's just legal slavery. And
Oh my
yeah,
gosh, yes.
yeah, and
Yes.
right, and like it's just very. It's just like I don't know. It's like now they're trying to have like child labor too. So like I think like 16 and 17-year-olds. I think they're trying to pass this in the state of Florida, or if they already have. I don't know. Like 16 and 17-year-olds can work longer than 40 hours a week. I'm like, I don't even do that. why would why would a 16 or 17-year-old who goes to school need to work overtime? Like that's insanity. Like during the summer vacation, if they want to, I don't know. I'm not I'm not too kosher on that, but like eh. But if it's actually, like during the school week, like I don't know, I just feel like they're just trying to convince kids to drop out of school and so they can make money because you can make money
Mhm.
instantly rather than going to school and make possibly more money later.
Right.
And like if you drop out of school, then you don't have to learn, but all you need to do is learn how to make money because that's all that really matters. And you know, like like all that diversity crap, you don't need to know that. Like you don't really need to, learn all these other things. Like you just need to just work really hard because when you work really hard, you see that you make more money. But in actuality, there's not enough hours in your lifetime that you can work hard to be like a billionaire. Like,
Exactly.
because they're going to tell you to work hard, but they're not going to tell you how to invest intelligently.
Exactly.
And that's what I am afraid of the most of and then they're going to be working hard, going to work sick, getting sick, you know, probably just dying earlier of, disease or whatever. And then they don't have to pay out social security or,
Hmm.
They don't need to save up as much money for whatever because they unfortunately pass at like 63 or 52. Like some were just very young. And like
Right.
that's what I think they're trying to do. Maybe I need to like
Mhm.
adjust my tinfoil hat to get a better signal, better reading. Um, but I don't know. Like, did you sneeze? Bless you.
Mm-mm. Uh, ooh.
Giraffe out of school to make a lot of money for that year. Crazy. Yeah, like I knew a girl. Um, when I worked at Best Buy, like it was like right after college, and it was like a girl who was still in high school who was working there, and like, well, she seemed like a smart kid or whatever. And then like one day she told me that she dropped out of high school. I was like, wait, what? What do you like? Why? And she was like, I'm just gonna get my GED, but I could just work more hours here or something like that. I think she's like in real estate right now.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not sure how that's working out for her, but it was just one of those like like those moments of realization of like like you're so like in a way like kind of just on this track of just going to school and then you finish. And I think she was in her senior year too, or at least
Oh
close
wow.
to. Yeah, she was like close to finishing, like junior or senior year, close to finishing, and she just dropped out.
Mm. That's too bad.
Yeah, like it was. I think she did end up getting her GED, and I guess she's doing fine now. I don't know. I think I follow her on maybe Facebook or Instagram, one of those.
Hmm.
But I don't really see her. She doesn't really pop up on my feed much. But it
Right.
was, yeah, but it was just it was like, I don't know.
Right. No, and I get that too because it's easier. And again, I'll circle back to when I was working at Taco Bell, and again talking about um, being comfortable, get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mm,
And one of the topics was like, how much money do you make as a teacher versus being a manager? And my manager, she said, it's sad that we tell kids to go to school, graduate, get your diploma, so you can go to college, get a trade, do whatever to make X amount of money. But when in the grand scheme and the reality of things, like I make more money as a manager than your teacher will ever make, period.
mm,
And and even then she said because she said one, not everybody could be a teacher, and two, not everybody could be a manager. But if you're willing to put up with a lot of the BS and still do the best you can to keep a straight level head, by the time you get ready to retire, you can you can gauge whether or not like whether the career path you went down was the right one for you. And so she was like, she was like, I would love to keep you as a manager because you're managerial material.
mm,
She said, but the crazy thing about it is because I know the fact that you're managerial material and I know that you have a good solid work ethic because of the fact that you actually want to pour into these kids and give them a better option versus what they're getting taught. She was like, I would rather you do that because that would mean a lot more because they don't have to work at a fast food restaurant and enjoy life. They don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
They can do whatever and still have enough income to enjoy life. But because people are not teaching them, again, financial literacy and what it means to actually invest and to save and credit this and the third,
Right.
because nobody is teaching that, they're going to grow up doing the same things and making the same mistakes we've done. And when they get a chance to talk to people like us, it's already too little too late. They're already indebted to their eyeballs.
Mm.
So she was like, I would rather you go and teach in the schools and make a difference versus, slaving away here and just making tacos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, that says a lot. She says, I know. She said, because you're good people. She's like, I wouldn't pull you aside and tell you and talk to you like this, but she's like, out of anybody in here that's not in a managerial position, go for it. And you'll probably have the most impact than anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, I mean, and again, it really does go to show that sometimes doing the dude, listen, like, and here's a crazy thing about it. Like, before I left Colorado, and even thinking about moving back to Michigan, um, I was at a bank, and one of the branch managers messed around and got fired.
Mm-hmm.
And as the branch manager is getting fired, I kid you not, as he's getting fired, the senior vice president of my district called me in for an interview, and he's stressed
Mm-hmm.
beyond measure. And so he was like, "Hey," he was like, I understand that you're leaving, that you're planning on moving back to Michigan because your mom's in the hospital and this, that, and the third. And he was like, what can I offer you to stay? What do you mean?
Mm.
Dude, you work, he's like, your work ethic is beyond none. When we've asked people to go to certain branches to kind of help out, you would be like, send me, I'll go. Your name was always somewhere at the top of the list. Yeah, you may not have opened up a lot of accounts, and yeah, you may not have sold a lot of products, but the simple fact of the matter that you build relationships with the customers that came into the branch, what can I offer you to stay and get hired on as a branch manager?
Mm.
And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, I'm like,
Damn.
man, exactly, like, dang, that's a crazy offer. Like, I don't know. Because again, when I was working at the bank, I was making like 12, $13 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But when you add in the incentives of opening accounts and selling credit cards and secure cards and loans and this and the third, that adds up very quick to about 15, $16 an hour. So on the low end, I'll get my base pay at 13, but on the high end, I can make 16, $17 an hour easy.
Okay.
And with most of the um, managers, assistant managers of the branches, they were making 17, 18, 19, 20, $21 an hour. And
Mm.
again, that was still very good money.
Right.
Very good money. And I'm like, man, I could get a house in Colorado and be a okay, not necessarily have to worry as much, not necessarily have to stress as much, but I would be in my career field and, sad to say, be in my dream job.
Mm.
And so it was like, man, do I want to make money or do I want to be there for my mom? Do I want to make 30, 40, 50K a year or get that cut in half, spend time with my mom? Because there's no telling if the next time she has a flare up, she's not going to be walking away out of that anytime soon. And so I told her, like, I'm like, dude, like, that's a very tough decision and everything else. He said, I know, he said, it's coming at a very awkward time. I know you're leaving. He said, but I really don't have another candidate to fill this position as of right now. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, because of the fact that I know who you are, I know who trained you, and I know that you have a solid reputation throughout the bank, throughout all the branches and within the bank, like your name is at the top of the list. Like I could go to any branch in Colorado Springs and drop your name, and somebody there is gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I know him. He's
Okay.
solid." Like,
Okay.
yeah. And so I'm like, you know, in all due respect, I'm like, had you came at me maybe 6 months earlier, I would have bite. I would have said, sure, why not?
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm getting ready to leave, and like I thought, I'm like, dude, my house is pretty much packed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty much ready to go. And the only thing I'm waiting on is this money to hit my account. Once my money hits my account, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not looking back. He said, he's like, okay. He was like, well, if I could say that, if I could get you to start working at $23 an hour, would you do it? Mind you, this is like toward the end of 2017 going into 2018. Okay.
Okay.
Making $23 an hour as a branch manager, that's not bad money at all.
Mm-hmm.
With vacation, benefits, 401k, all the glitz and glamour and
And a lot
everything
of
else.
days off because it's a bank.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, yeah, that's not bad. And I told like, dude, that is very enticing. Like you're literally pretty much saying, hey, do you want to make money over your mom? I'm like, that's crazy that you put it
I
in that
know.
kind of a situation. I'm like, dude, like I respect you. Like you have like my highest regards. Like, but I gotta go. Like I have to. Like this is my mom. You
Right.
know,
Right.
tomorrow's never promised. Like I'm 18 hours away, and I found out she's in a hospital. Like that hit the pit of my stomach, knowing she's in a hospital. I'm all the way out here. I can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
That hurts. And he was like, he was like, I get it. He was like, but you can't say I didn't try. I laughed at it. I'm like, yeah, can't say you didn't try. Like, but at the same time, I'm like, I appreciate the offer. And I'm telling you, like seriously, Rocky, like, and even then, talking to the missus as I was driving from Colorado to Michigan with the U-Haul and my my Pontiac, the first Pontiac that I bought on my own accord and whatnot. And I told her, she said, "Dude, really?" I was like, "Yeah." Like you have no idea how tempted I was to say, you know what? I'll stay and
Mm-hmm.
take the money and then come fly out and all this other good stuff. But man,
Mm-hmm.
very tempted, very tempting. And like, and even then, like the branch, it's not a bad branch at all. It wasn't a bad branch. It was actually one of the better branches. And it's like, I told him no, I declined it because my mom, and she's like, yeah, she's like, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't blame you at all.
Yeah.
So I'll end that rant because it just, and again, it just goes to show that, again, I think Rocky, you said this too, where at the bottom line, it's more so about the dollar sign than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's just unfortunate how important the dollar sign is. Like,
Facts.
yeah, like, oh my gosh, like that's just money that could really just change your entire life. And
Yes.
yeah, like I mean, that's life for you. Like you have to make those very hard, very uncomfortable decisions. And
Hmm.
even though I'm sure I wouldn't really call it like a no-brainer. It was just like from what it sounds like, it's like you knew the answer was no, but it was just like, but maybe like you were trying to somehow fit it in, but it's like it's impossible, kind of thing.
Yes.
And it's like I get it, like that. That's really tough. That's yeah, but I mean, it's great that you're closer to your mom. It's
Hmm.
great, like where you are in life now, and yeah. Like, you've definitely been blessed many, many ways.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I was thinking that too, Rocky. Like, maybe I could just move, yeah, the wife and kids and then just fly back and forth. But that's hard because, like, you'd have to pay for where you're staying and then also pay for, where your wife
Hmm.
and kids are. Which,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, like my friend at work is sort of kind of doing that. Like, not flying back and forth, but because of like this policy of having to be in the office like 3 days a week. He
Hmm.
comes in like every other week for 3 days and like stays at like his in law's house because like his family moved like 3-4 hours north. So, it's one of those things where it's like doable for now, but it's just, like it's hard, of course. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like at least I think he comes in every other. I don't know, and it's like annoying too because it's like we could do our jobs from home, but yeah, it's company policy, I guess. But yeah, like it's hard, but you did what you had to do. You did what you
Yeah.
had to do at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on a random weird note, it is that time,
Yes.
unfortunately. As as always, you don't have to get off the internet, but we are leaving. We might be leaving the internet. You don't know. Not forever, but just possibly for this evening. Kidding. Uh, no, internet is life. But
Yes.
we we will see you all. I guess in the new year, huh? Like I guess
Hmm.
January 2nd. I think. No, is January 1st the new year? Is it January 1st? Is I think is a Monday. Yeah, I think. It was January. I
What?
don't know. I don't know. I don't. My calendars are not in my brain.
Yeah.
Uh,
January 1st is a Monday.
okay, so January 2nd is a Tuesday. So yeah,
Yep.
that's when we'll reconvene. Right, the day after New Year. I hope you all will definitely join us. Um, it's going to be a new year. It's going to be a new topic, and yeah, definitely come by and check it out. I'm pretty excited for this topic. I mean, I'm trying to remember. Like where I put it? Is it here? No. I don't know. I have a bunch of tabs open all over the place. That is not Google Docs. Anyway, whatever. It's definitely it's definitely a good topic. I just don't know where it is right now. Oh, I think is it this one? Yeah. Okay, so like next year we're gonna definitely continue the topic of just like, moving towards the future, and we're gonna be talking about, like how I want you all to keep in mind like how y'all have been navigating spending and money during this holiday season, because we're going to be talking about like money, like your relationship with money, especially during like the holiday streaks, like
Mm,
um the last 3 months of the year with Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, um other holidays that you may celebrate that we don't know about, but we're excited to hear. And we'd love
mhm.
to hear like, how you navigate money and your money spending habits and things of that nature. So definitely check us out next year, as Rocky says. See y'all next year. We're looking forward to it. New new year, new me, new phone. Who dis? I'm actually getting a
Hmm.
new phone, so I will definitely be like that.
Oh yeah,
And
sheesh.
yeah,
That's gonna be another topic in its own right.
new year, new me. I like it. Yeah, yeah. That's definitely, yeah. We should definitely try to make that into a topic for sure. But
Hmm.
as always, thank you all so much for watching. We
Yes, you
love
guys.
y'all. We think y'all are top 10 greatest people of all time.
Facts.
Yeah. No one tops y'all. No one.
Hmm.
Like Nobel Prize, what? No. Y'all deserve the noblest of prizes.
Yes.
Yes.
With all the fanfare and balloons and doves and all of the good stuff that
Yeah.
comes with it.
Yeah. On all the days of Christmas, what your true love give to you, which is apparently, if you look it up, it's like 184 birds. Like literally every gift is a type of bird. Not just like the first five. It's like literally every gift is a type of bird. Like maids of milking, like that's a type of bird apparently.
Really?
Yeah, like it's lords, like lords are leaping. That's apparently a bird. Like these are apparently all birds. So
Mm.
very weird lover, but honestly, I get it. If y'all wanted all 180 something birds, I would gladly give them all to you. Thank you so much, Rocky. Happy holidays to
Yeah.
you.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Merry Kwanzaa, and Merry Hanukkah, and all the good stuff.
Yes, happy
Yes.
holidays to you and yours. And with that said, good night and see y'all next year.
Yes. Peace.